CTV is at a really interesting stage where the platform, the TV connected to the internet, is in 3/4 of homes now, and I think there's a huge opportunity to do more things around the consumer experience. After all, these TVs are not just places to click for video on demand. It's actually an interactive platform. So some of the innovative companies I've been focusing on investing in have been on the consumer experience side, including companies like Disruptel, which is doing sort of a voice assistant that can see what you're seeing while you watch TV. So really interesting user-initiated way to make the TV viewing experience more active. Another is a company called Tap that's sort of in stealth mode, but is doing in-stream sports betting. So the idea of authenticating transactions over the broadcast itself, like in a basketball game, is actually a big idea because yes, it's sports betting, but also you're introducing user-initiated transactions and commerce into the TV viewing experience.
So, Mike, what about the business of advertising and sort of what's bubbling up there in terms of innovation that excites you?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of horizons, as there always are with ad tech. There's sort of today's problems that need to be solved for CTV to scale. Tomorrow's and the day after. And what's confusing about ad tech is the horizons sort of all come at you at once, but that's what makes it fun too. I think one of the big issues right now in terms of what's holding back CTV and reallocation of budgets from linear is, first of all, no longer audience, but some of the transparency issues and just basic reporting. Since CTV is bought in applications, oftentimes the advertisers don't have great visibility into the actual content where their ad is running. Companies like Iris TV are obviously working on that problem to get the data together to make it available to the programmers and advertisers, but also Pixability. Companies like Pixability are taking advantage of the huge trove of data in YouTube, which obviously has become a major CTV play as more people are watching, long form programming on YouTube on their TVs. I think one of the interesting impediments, in addition, is sort of the CTV ad spot right now and management of the ad pod, which is well managed in linear TV environments. Just due to the way the CTV plumbing works, the app, the encoding, the app makers, the broadcasters, the splits on inventory, oftentimes conflicting and repetitive ads can sort of pour into the same ad pod or successive ad pods. And so I'm really interested in this idea of like sort of a standardized taxonomy for the ad itself, which of course is called ad ID in linear TV, but it's sort of time now to bring that taxonomy into this convergent CTV space so we can have a better consumer experience. I would also add, beyond like CTV ad spots are sort of non-intrusive advertising experiences that are involving commerce. Obviously, YouTube is doing some innovation there. And so are companies like Hulu and Roku, who are sort of supplementing the traditional, interstitial ad spot with more creative integrations into the viewer experience.
Mike, so you've joined the board of Pixability. Tell us sort of why you joined and sort of how you see their business position and what's exciting to you there.
I think Pixability is a really well-positioned, interesting company. What it's doing, I sort of see two things it's doing. In the first instance, the focus on YouTube, which is such a big player in video, sort of morphing into really the biggest audience in CTV. I think what they're doing with context is just foundational. So a lot's being said, a lot of hand-wringing now about deprecation of cookies and targeting and sort of measurement from programmatic days. But the reality is everybody needs to be working on context right now. Companies like dataxu were innovators in creating a consumer data graph, which is now technology powering Roku OneView. But I think it's time for like context graph. And not just for Google to create its federated learning of cohorts. Really, everybody should be working on how the creative fit of the advertising and the content go together, and in a privacy-preserving way. I think we've seen great results. I've seen great results from companies and teams that are doing that at a deep level in terms of conversions, in terms of consideration up and down the funnel. I think the other thing that is interesting about Pixability is it's sort of taking, the walled garden, if you like, of YouTube, and also, the Roku environment, and also, the Fire TV environment from Amazon. All three of these players have really powerful data sets, in terms of the targeting and the measurement, which is, obviously a key issue for CTV. But the idea of sort of virtualizing across these three islands to form a continent of a big sort of precise audience is really compelling. So I'm looking forward to seeing, how the company can help, more of the industry sort of stitch it all together.
And Mike, finally, you and I, we've been speaking about innovation in advanced TV and programmatic for a number of years around the world at different locations. And I want to just, our chat today comes at an exciting time. There's a lot of investment. There's a lot of innovation. There's a lot of anticipation. What's going on now?
What's going on? I think we just fast forwarded, this the convergence of linear and sort of digital TV by 3 years with the pandemic. And, people like you and I knew this was coming, but, sometimes the future doesn't come as quickly as you'd like it to as an entrepreneur. And so this has been sort of a blessing in a lot of ways for people working on innovation, because you're getting an audience and user base for your innovation. So, the other thing going on right now is obviously digital media is maturing. The display ads and some of the other elements, including some of the social native formats, and video is really where the growth is. So it's great to see all the innovation. And my only hope with all this is, as the entrepreneurs invent the future, that we really keep the consumer in mind and the viewers out there in terms of enhancing the experience in innovation.